You're listening to the Out of the Box podcast with Timmy, Halisa, and Sinosure.
Welcome to Out of the Box. This is another episode, and I am Halisa. There's Durotimi, and we have a guest. We have a special guest today joining us on this conversation. So I don't even want to give long introduction. We have a special guest. So Durotimi, let's hear your voice, and then we'll usher in our guest. So hi.
Hi guys. Welcome to another episode of Out of the Box. Yeah, guys. It's been a heavy week, yeah. Halisa, it's been a heavy, hectic week, around Nigeria. And we've had what did we even have in the last 1 week? We had ultimate search or treasure hunt, where people were looking for the president's certificates, but I guess that'll be another topic for another episode, yeah. And today we're just going to be talking about the influence of celebrities and influencers basically on the Nigerian youths, and how good or how negative their impact has been. That's what we're going to be talking about. It reminds me of those secondary school debates where we'll come and say, oh, science is what was that thing again that we used to do? Science has caused more harm than good, or science and technology has caused more harm than good. I'm here to convince you, not to
debate.
Anyways,
let's
introduce our guest. We have a very special celebrity guest in the building today. In fact, how do I even start this introduction? Anyways, we have the wonderful Ifeiko with us in the building today, and she's gonna be,
Hi.
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Oh gosh, Durotimi. Thank you so much, Halisa. Thank you, Durotimi. So, I think secretly Durotimi has been trying to get me onto this podcast for a while, and clearly, days are very, very precious, and like you said, we've all been consumed on this treasure hunt with finding the Nigerian president's certificate. So it has been quite an exciting week, very thrilling. We've been hearing all different sides of the conversation. Well, just a little bit of background about myself. As much as I am Nigerian as well, I also live and work in the UK and also globally as well. So very much into politics, but most especially my core obviously is healthcare. So, I guess we all found each other because of the love we have for politics across the world.
No, the love we have for country or for people. So, that works like people because, the love we have for people. Yeah, I'm just kind of bringing it to, working in healthcare and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
To be honest, because at the end of the day, it comes across everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, great, yeah. And you introduced yourself as a health professional, and that brings us to the topic that we have today when we talk about influencers and the role of celebrities. One of the most talked about negativity of a lot of influencers that we see today is in promotion of a lot of let's say health products. We're going to start off from here. I know it's not all negative, but we'll start off from here. And we've recently seen one new will I call him an influencer, also celebrity, has emerged and has taken it upon himself to expose a lot of these guys, influencers that are paid to influence for skincare products, sexual enhancement products, and so on and so forth. And we do see that a lot of people actually patronize these businesses, and from his little exposés, we're also saying that a lot of these businesses may not necessarily have the required registrations, by NAFDAC and the rest of all of this, organizations that are meant to checkmate, these products and everything. So it brings us into the topic of discussion, and it goes beyond just even products, even from politics to lifestyle to a lot of issues. We have, celebrities who are influencing, young people, and maybe not the not so young too, in their millions out there to, adopt certain ways of living or purchase certain products. So generally, what do you think about influencers and celebrities influencing young people, to live life in a certain way, or to go after certain products in the market or certain services?
So, Dura, to me, this is a very, very as much as you are trying not to make it so broad, it's quite a broad question. If you don't mind engaging with me as I talk through it. So, basically, human beings are always going to do what they want to do, right? And how it's conditioned in your brain, based on societal pressure as well, would make somebody do something even if it wasn't initially on their mind. Take, for example, you see an advert and it keeps on appearing about 5 times in between your movie or your TV series or something like that. Whether you like it or not, your brain is picking up that particular advert. In fact, you probably start to remember different parts of the song attached to it or something like that. And with that, you have to also bear in mind as well that there's also peer pressure and there's societal pressure as well. There's the fear of missing out, fear of standing out and not, wanting to belong and everything. And with social media that you have these days, whereby information travels at the speed of lightning, from this to this to this, you start to kind of look at yourself as well and see that, what, okay, maybe this could be better, maybe that could be better, or whatever it is. Then when you now have the additional layer of influencers, quote unquote influencers on top, that obviously just, kind of charges everything up, times 200%, because they will give you they would sell you what they're supposed to sell you. The whole point of them doing that job is to sell you what they're literally just the salesman, the modern day salesman or saleswoman of today. Influences on the current culture in Nigeria, I see it as sort of twofold. Number one, for some people who are influencers is the way they make their living, just because there's actually no other opportunities for them to kind of make, a certain layer of, a certain amount of money. And also as well, it's also because they have seen their counterparts as well across the pond who are making this kind of money that's, from doing what they're doing. So they obviously start off as, okay, how can I mimic this to yield this particular result in terms of productivity? And then how can they now infuse their own thing into it as well? So number one is to make money. Number two as well is actually to grow your following and your base, whether or not you're selling them you're selling the product that you need to sell, whether or not the product actually has any benefits, true benefits, because the product can benefit you in a good way and it can also benefit you in a bad way. And that's where this whole conversation, I believe, is going to. How is it affecting, how is it harming people? How is it, is it doing more harm than good, in terms of the market? And there's no right or wrong answer on that one. For some people, the word abuse will always come in there, because with any good thing, take for example, like I said, you have a drug like paracetamol that you're taking for a particular headache or something like that, yes, you can take it to treat that particular drug, but then when you're constantly in pain, you're eventually going to abuse that particular drug if you keep on taking it out of prescription and out of dosage. So influencer culture is good when it's working the right way, and it's harmful when it is obviously not working the right way. So I don't think there's really a right or wrong answer, because at the end of the day, there's always going to be that push and pull, between the good and the bad, and trying to meet in the middle. To be honest, you need for the consumer themselves to actually just wake up, and be able to make informed decisions and discern, how it's going to benefit them from there. I hope that sort of answered your question in a nutshell.
Yeah. So before we actually started recording the podcast, we're having a conversation about how much you sound like one popular broadcaster in that I used to know. I used to rock the airways in Lagos, and then you said something about
We're going to bring that
trust me, I was bringing everything in, yeah, because a lot of people are going to be suspecting right now. But like you said something that struck me, yeah, and you said we're talking about um why they always leave the jobs and everything. And then you said, that after some time they've built enough, emotional connection with people, they've built enough social capital, they've built a lot of popularity they can take into different things and everything. And then you said something about, how much time people spend listening to them. I remember those days, sitting in traffic, you listen to these guys for hours before we actually had options to listen to other things and everything. Yeah, you listen to these guys for hours. You have, even if you're at home, you have like this sort of emotional connection with these people. So there's this certain level of trust that is built between celebrities and regular people. Yeah, so it leads
Yes.
me to the question that it leads me to and the trust is so deep that sometimes people even call radio stations to ask for life advice, like to ask for
Yes.
advice on very, very relevant issues. But now, so it now leads me to the question that if celebrities or influencers are not actually using these products by themselves, is it fair for them to actually be marketing this thing to the people? Because that has come up like a whole lot of times. Yeah. So yes, they can go ahead. At the end of the day, it's up to the users to have or the customers to really have sense to know what they're consuming or what they're buying or what whatever they want to go for. But is it fair for people who have built so much of an emotional connection with these celebrities or with these influencers, over the years, to is it fair for things to be marketed to them by these influencers in a manner in which it some of them they put the products. Let me give an example of like skincare products, and they rub the products on their skin and they tell you, oh, if you want to glow like me, you should go get this. And one little girl is sitting down by the corner and thinking that, oh, she wants to glow like this person that she shares so much in common with, or she shares some sort of emotional connection with. So is it fair for them to market products they do not necessarily use by themselves, or services or the likes?
So, first of all, do it to me. We can't put all influencers into the same basket, because there are actually influencers who actually do use the products, and then there are the ones that don't use the products. I think just for the all intents and purposes that this is being recorded, I think
Yeah.
one has to state that. So, just to kind of pick on that particular aspect of your question, it's not all influencers. A lot of them actually do use the products. A lot of them are actually very specific on on brands they don't touch as well. Some of them as well don't even because they probably research about the company behind the brand, and they're like, no, it's not going to be good for their audience, and it's not going to be good for what's it called, for their brand itself. So we have to kind of compartmentalize the different categories of influencers that we have here. For the ones who fall into the category whereby they're marketing products but not actually using the products themselves, that is deception, to be honest. And I don't know if you wanted to really use the word, but it is actually flat out deception. Reason because, I mean, you're selling a product that you haven't actually used, but you're trying to get people to buy it, at the end of the day. So you are no different to a company who is trying to advertise on TV, and the person hasn't used it at all. So that in itself obviously is deception. But then that's also playing on the emotional, more like I don't want to use the word emotional blackmail. itself, but at the end of the day, it's also how as well they kind of sell it to the audience as well that will make the audience decide to actually buy it themselves. So and I have to definitely give kudos to the industry, that the industry has actually tried in clamping this down, whereby, I mean, if you have followed the way influencers have come about on social media, just to give you a little bit of background history, there used to be a point whereby an influencer would be advertising for a particular brand, right? And some people were not actually, there were no guidelines to how to advertise for a particular brand. So some people were abusing those guidelines, like, again, the word abuse. But now, if you want to actually advertise for a particular brand, you actually need to there's actually certain conditions to you advertising for a particular brand now on your social media page. In addition as well, you need to obviously include certain taglines as well, and obviously include the word that that this is definitely an advert. And that's
sorry,
also,
where are you talking about? Are you talking about in Nigeria or globally, or are you talking about in Nigeria?
Both globally.
Oh, really? Okay.
And also in Nigeria as well. Yes, it's part of the social media guidelines now that if something is an advert, you have to clearly state it's an advert. The same way how if a picture has been retouched as well, and you're trying to promote a brand, you have to state, it has to be stated that this picture has been retouched because of this particular brand that you're promoting. I'm not too sure if you were aware of that.
Yeah. I am aware that you have to, but it's not as if it's the government's own regulation.
No,
we have a new, we have like a new order of government now, which is like the Elon Musk and co, right? So they're the ones that will tell you, okay, like for example on Twitter now, if you tweet from America, they can say there's this community, this thing Dorothy was even talking about before. People have to give context to that post to make sure it's not misleading. Yes. So those ones are the ones that they do on those platforms. But on Instagram, you have to like say it's an ad. I think on YouTube, you also have to say it's an ad. You have to specify from the very beginning. Exactly. Yeah, so I'm quite familiar with that. For me, my own perspective to this topic is that it's very inevitable, and I feel like influencers take a lot of heat, but that's just me being calm today. I don't know what side of the bed I woke up, but influencers do.
You have to understand that their job is to sell. Now, how they go about selling, that is that in itself is the question. Their job is to sell.
Exactly. That's what the thing is. Great. That's what I'm even saying. That's why I'm like, sometimes I wonder why they take this much heat, right? But because the thing is, right now we are swimming in product. The world has gotten to a point now where there is product. It's like, for example, if you're living in a country that has four weathers, so if there's like spring, summer, autumn, and then there's winter, you're literally going to have to change clothes sometimes, almost all the time. So there's so much product in the world. See the fashion brands, look at the makeup brands. There's just a lot of product. Before we're at a point in our kind of, should I say, development where products were only for function's sake. So people only had product because of their functions. But now we have so much. We have in excess for not just for what's it called, for functionality, and you even learn it in like marketing or things like that products are now beyond just their functions. You have to sell the experience. So that's why you have to connect with people on that emotional level for them to relate with your brand rather than that brand, because your brand and that brand, they are doing the same things basically. So but you need to like present it now to people in such a way that is different, so people are connected to the person that's presenting that product to them rather than maybe the functionality, because right now we are living in a time where there's perfect information, all of those things. So what I'm trying to say basically is like the time is so inevitable for us to influencers are going to be there. Like we're going to have more faces selling products basically. Before it was just television and radio, because they were just like smaller products, I just feel like. But now with the variety, is inevitable that we have it, and with development in technology and everything. So for me, I just wonder if the only thing is that I just feel like, should there be some kind of industry that they do not go into? Because we're having these conversations around politics the other time, and we're saying that with politics, like maybe influencers should stay away, maybe celebrities should stay away. But maybe with healthcare stuff, maybe we should just leave that regulation to a very specific body, and it shouldn't just be about, it shouldn't just be any person that's not a professional. So do you think that there are some, like, should I say, industries? I don't know. You can agree or disagree with
right?
what I'm trying.
Yeah, there's some industries that are no-go areas when it comes to influencers.
Yeah, yes. And if you understand what I was saying with my point, like, you could also say, you might not also agree. I just want to hear your perspective.
Trust me, if I do not agree, I would definitely highlight it that I do not entirely agree. But no, you are correct. We are swimming in products, but you have to understand, Halisa, that this whole influencer thing did not just start in this century. It's been given the name influencer, but it's actually always been there. It's always been part of I'll not say as part of Nigerian, I'll say part of global culture. And I'll give you an example. Like, for example, I say healthcare, right here. And for healthcare, for companies to market certain products, obviously they would actually have salespeople, Now, are you telling me that those salespeople are not influencers themselves? They're influencers themselves, but they're just called a different name in a different industry. That's it. When it comes to When it comes to politics, and you look at politics in America, and when you have certain celebrities endorsing certain candidates, they are influencers, but are they specifically called political influencers? They're not called political influencers. They're called celebrities. They actually use the word celebrities. But then you have the lobbyists who are also there as well. Now, when it now comes to fashion, beauty, that side of the industry and everything, that's when you now start seeing the word influencers really, really bought into the terminology and the so-called speech and everything. So the word influencers, just let's just say that they have different synonyms in different industries and how they are being used. The same way how you have in manufacturing for cars and all of that, and then you have a celebrity there. That celebrity is an influencer for that particular manufacturer as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if you're saying that there's a no-go area, it's already been penetrated into different industries. Look at, for example, Emirates. Emirates has Penelope Cruz currently at the moment as their celebrity. She is an influencer for Emirates. Do you get where I'm coming from, Alyssa?
Yeah. I can definitely see that angle, really. Like, God, I have one very terrible example in my head, and I'm thinking, so are we going to say like Donald Trump is like an influencer? Because it's like anyone that sells an idea or a product or something. Because when we think influencer, I feel like there are levels to it though. There's someone there's an idea of influencer, especially when we talk about, how, the gaze right now with youth and influencers. Everybody just feel like young people don't really have their own this thing. They are following influencers everywhere. So there's an image of them being a bit, what word can I use that would be nice enough? Like, there's a bit of them being vain. There's an idea of them, like, look at what happened the other day. Now Thatcher was online screaming to people that they did not listen to the police. I mean, she's now this influencer that became powerful because of Big Brother Africa. She was in front of the camera for 70 weeks, and all of a sudden she has this massive following behind her. And sometimes the kind of ideas that she hold, and knowing the kind of people that the amount of people that listen to her, you just be like, wow, it seems like people that are getting popular and getting this fame are not people that are extremely should I say, God, people that maybe are slightly vain. It depends. So maybe that's the forefront of what we think. That's what we think when we think influencer. We are not really thinking of the people that are just maybe selling a product. People don't really think of those people as influencers. I don't think so.
Alyssa, I'm not too sure if you were using I think you were searching for the word, but I don't think vain is the word that you're looking for, because you can't put somebody with a product that doesn't look good. I have to say it that way. Sorry. You can't put somebody with a product that doesn't look good. There's still a certain, and when I say look good. I'm talking about what advertisers look for in terms of camera good to sell a particular product, whether or not it is a gym product or whether or not it is a perfume or something like that. Because you still have this disparity whereby, okay, somebody wants to sell a product. The person might have a massive following, but their appearance might not be as strong enough to carry that particular product, despite the fact that they despite the fact that they they have a massive following. And I'll tell you which industry you see it in, because I think you're just looking at a few industries. You see it a lot in tennis, and that's in the sports industry.
Okay.
Right, yeah. And you see it as certain figures, who are popular and everything, right, yeah. They get certain types of endorsement deals based on how they look. And some of them don't. Not because they're not great stars or anything, but actually based on how they look, they will get certain deals, And with that, tennis stars are also influencers. I'm trying to tell you that you think that there's an industry that has not been touched, or you think that there's an industry that is not going to be touched. Every industry has been touched. The same way how you have Formula One in sports, the same way how you have golf. In fact, I think golf probably has some massive influences. I mean, when you saw Tiger Woods, back then, Tiger Woods was like a superstar. Until his personal life started catching up with him. He was a massive influencer. He still is, to be honest, because if you'd say that Tiger Woods is going to be playing at a particular match, people are going to flock there. So
I still think that you're looking at the literal meaning of influencer.
No. I think we use influencer for certain categories, certain industries, and we don't understand the fact that it is actually the same thing but just a different name in another industry.
Okay. What do you think is going to be? Okay, when nowadays when you listen to kids speak, I think they even took a survey the other time and they asked children, or maybe middle school or something, what is your top one profession? And then they said the highest ranked one was, I wanted to be an influencer, I wanted to be a YouTuber, but I'm not very accurate. Don't quote me. So so people wanted to be influencers. And do you think people are thinking, I want to be playing tennis and I want to be the greatest in the world to be an influencer?
Okay, first of all, Halisa, where was that survey done? Which region of the world?
That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, I don't, because I know I've come across this. I can't. That's why I wanted to keep it until I'm factual about it. But it has come up several times. Yeah.
No. Should I tell you the reason why I asked you that question? I'll tell you the reason why I asked you that question. Because if you're to go to India, for example, right here, and you ask a child that question, the person's influencer is one of the Bollywood actors.
But the person will tell you Bollywood actor, they will not tell you.
But the
so that's what I'm saying. So it's different. It's slightly different perception wise.
The way that Bollywood actor like an Aishwarya Rai lives her life, Priyanka Chopra Jonas lives her life, she is influencing.
It does. I'm not saying many. See, okay, let me tell you something. Breaking news, I'm also an influencer. My sibling, my younger sister, wants to be look up to me. She likes me a lot, right? So it does not matter who you influence. It's the scale.
This podcast.
No, you're not. No, really, because I feel like you're trying to be correct with it. Like you're trying. What we are saying. Right? You know the influence.
Okay. All right.
Because.
Okay.
No, don't trust me. I'm not trying to change. I'm just trying to say, if you see a survey like that, it's quite frightening because it's not like somebody wants to be so good at a profession and the person wants to now influence in that sense. There are many people that are doing, even Dr. Is it Aproko? What's that guy's name online that does these very fun videos about medical stuff?
He's an influencer.
Exactly, he's an influencer, but people will not say, I want to be a medical doctor and then I'll have enough social capital to be able to influence people.
Yes.
So it's like I feel like the starting point is a bit. It's a bit.
And
But
I said something. Let's go back a few conversations ago. I said something. I said that why do they want to become influencers? Depending on which type of influencer they want to become, you have to know that part of the motive is money, to make money, because they have seen somebody who is in this field, this sphere, in this ecosystem that they're in, and who is churning out the cash. Okay, remember when YouTube changed their laws, right? Yeah, and they said that you have to have certain amount of subscribers. The subscribers need to have what certain amount of minutes, for you to really, really monetize your content and everything, right? Did you notice the massive inflow of people trying to push their YouTube channels on every social media platform? Say, please, can you watch my channel? Please subscribe, please subscribe. Sorry, certain amounts of subscribers need to be subscribed, and everything. So with all of that, I'm sure if you were to drill down in that survey of those people who said that they want to become an influencer, why exactly do they want to become an influencer? Probably because they want to make money that they're not going to be able to make in a usual 9 to 5. Number two, they want a flexibility of a job that they are able to dictate when, how, what sort of things and everything. Number three, they probably with the influencer job, they want to travel. They want to see the world and everything, because influencers travel, see the world. They don't get to pay for this or whatever it is that, whatever it is that, they get. I almost nearly lost my English there. They get flown out to all of these events and, and so. That is what has probably they have seen, and it is based on what you have seen that these influencers the influencers that they want to aspire to, that they are seeing, that they want to become. It is what you see that you behold, Halisa.
I agree, but it's just, for me, I feel like, because the people that I've seen that have been successful in a way, yes, I've talked about the vain people, but I feel like there are smart people out here, like financial people, lawyers, everything, that have become influencers. But many people end up seeing the influencer part, and the part where people do hard work is omitted. So I fear that's going to be a problem, that people don't know that maybe if you're so good at if you're so good at maybe politics, you can even be an influencer. If you're so good at medicine or something, you can be an influencer. If you're so good at law or whatever, you can be an influencer. If you're a great pilot nowadays, this guy that plays for, is it Manchester City? So no, I don't know if he's still their son. There's this guy's son. Is he still playing in that club?
I think it's Tottenham.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He's literally on every billboard in the country he's from. He's so big. He does advertisement for like pizza. He does advertisement for.
Isn't he an influencer, Halisa? He's an influencer.
He is. That's what I'm saying. But the thing is, he did not move like, I'm targeting, I want to be an influencer. He's like so good in what he's doing that he's now like the face of many things that work. So it's not, so I find it a bit problematic, where it feels like you need to study. It's like influencer, yes, we've gotten to a point where we have, and what's it called, you can learn SEO, you can learn digital marketing in school, but even if you're so good at it, you'll now be influencing on a different level. I just feel like people go into that influencing without substance slightly.
Auntie Halisa, even religious,
let me calm down.
even religious leaders some of them are influencers. Yeah.
Let me not say anything.
Interesting.
I'm saying a lot.
But Halisa, if you don't mind me just saying something, right? Yeah. So like,
right, of course.
When Dr. Aproko, I believe it's Dr. Aproko, when he started doing what he was doing on social media, I'm sure he too as well must have thought, let him just try this out. If these influencers are doing this thing, okay, what can he do? And all that. And I have to give him kudos. He really, really did open that doorway for other people in the healthcare profession as well to also go down that sort of route of getting their message out.
But when he was 16, he did not say, I want to be an influencer.
No,
He wanted to be a medical doctor. He became a medical doctor, and influencing was just an offshoot of that.
he probably did not even know what the word influencer was. It was
Exactly.
even not
So
a
don't you
profession.
think it will be a problem if someone is at 16, 15 saying they want, without even like thinking of, even if you're in fashion nowadays, you need to, in fact, you need to learn how to make 3D animation and stuff like that for you to be
You
so
have to
good. You have
understand that the
substance
reason why
behind it.
a 16-year-old of today, no, and a 16-year-old of and you as a 16-year-old of way back when, or myself of way back when, we were living in different times. We are living in different times. The 16-year-old today has iPhone, has access to Samsung, has access to these sort of things that you will see that this is how people are making money of today. A 16-year-old today who can actually boldly go and tell their mother and their father that I want to become a chef, and their mother and their father will understand that being a chef does not mean that you are being a cook. Totally different. We're in totally different times. So I can understand a 16-year-old comes and say, I want to become an influencer. And you know what? I will ask 16-year-old, okay, what is your strategy? Which industry are you focusing on? That they're probably seeing somebody who was what's it called? Who has done this. And you know what? The person will open up videos of all the different influencers and they will even break it down for you what they've done. They'll even tell you what camera that they're using. But the 16-year-old of way back when, we were in a different time because our parents were busy telling us, if you don't go to school, something, something, something. Koboko was the system right there. Sorry. Dorothy, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back. And I think, for the most part, I think, like you said, when you started speaking, this is a very, very broad conversation. And I think we might even have multiple episodes to really dive deeper into this, yeah. But as you were talking, it also reminded me of some influencers, those that will tell you that, let me give one perfect example. Oh, I made 50 million naira from this. And I don't know if they actually make that money, but they now start selling courses to get other people to
Yeah, yeah.
and for the most part they make more money off the courses that they are selling than actually making making that money for themselves, and
And they are probably wondering that, was this all a sales marketing tool, or was this just pure what's called misleading communication, right?
exactly. And it leads to a lot of frustration because the people who look up to you keep on seeing you making money, and you're making money off selling those courses, but not making money actually doing what you're selling to people. So it leads to some level of frustration. But I do have one question that I would like to ask, because I think Halisa asked it, but we did not get deep into it. In the aspect of Nigerian politics, we're at a particular time where Nigerian politics is very delicate, for the most part, and very controversial. Do you think that influencers should stay off influencing political decisions at this particular time? And I'll also ask the question this way because from the way I observed many Nigerian celebrities in the last election, it wasn't looking so good for them. Businessmen, popular people, in terms of if they actually come out to give a political take, they could be dragged down, their businesses and whatsoever. Yeah, so I know that's a little bit different from what we're discussing, but do you think people should be allowed to influence, for politicians? Do you think there should be laws that prevent people, or there should be laws that actually state that, oh, if you've actually been paid, you need to state that you actually have been paid? Because if people are suffering so much in the community and then they see their biggest stars who they have some sort of emotional attachment to, promoting these guys or promoting some political parties or candidates, it might actually lead to influencing voting decisions, which may not necessarily be the right decisions. That's one question.
But I think let's take one question at a time. So to answer your question, Durotimi, I'm going to use the UK and I'm going to use the States as an example. And as much as I would like to say probably a yes, that, politics should just be politics without the influences and everything, I can't lie to you, and I won't say they should be banned, right? Because at the end of the day, if they're banned over here, they might as well be banned in the in the West as well. Now, should there be some guidance around, probably some kind of, level of guidance or whatever it is, then yes, definitely. When you see certain celebrities come out to support certain candidates, are they being questioned about whether or not they're being paid or not? Probably not. But then again, are you talking about the influencers that are putting out the posts online, or are you talking about the celebrities who actually show up, in person with the candidates? Because I think you're going to have to divide those two. Do you see me?
Why
Yeah,
do
I
we have
think
to
it's
divide them?
both. Like if you,
Because those ones who are paid online, you can tell they've been paid online to do the work that they're supposed to do. The ones that show up in person, some of them might actually not have been paid. They just want to support.
Oh yeah, yeah. I do get that. I do. Um,
Some of them just want to actually support. Some of them are actually not paid. Some of them actually just want to support. So I cannot. That's why I said that we might need to. How do I put it? We might need to distinguish between the ones who are paid online as okay, become bots and trolls or whatever it is, versus the ones who are actually like, okay, this celebrity, this Nollywood celebrity, using Nigeria as an example, this Nollywood celebrity is actually out campaigning with this person, and all that. And they're not being physically paid. Now, are they part of the what's called? Are they part of the entourage, the press, or whatever it is? Yes, definitely.
yeah. So I mean that's a good point you made there, but I wanted to just highlight something. There's something we call the halo effect, right? Where like you say when someone is attractive, or you kind of tend to assign positive traits to that person. So you might also find those like people that are beautiful or smart, those people like projected as influencers in our faces, the people that I consider influencers just first gaze. You kind of think that they are generous, they are smart, they are trustworthy. So some choices that they make, no matter how uninformed they are, sometimes you might trust them more than you would trust like an average or a newscaster or someone even in your family, to be honest. So that's the thing. That's why you have to like worry that, okay, are these people influencing, are they informed enough to to like have this kind of really strong opinions. But the thing, at the end of the day, you can't really police how people want to express themselves, freedom of speech, right? But then it's like, I think that's a big communication, even freedom of speech on itself, freedom of speech, but then where does your own freedom end at the end of the day? But I think we should revisit that conversation because we're trying to go for today. I think maybe we can revisit it. Do it to me, right? Or if you have anything you want to share with us, please do.
I think, like I said at the start, it's a very, this influencer culture is a very, very broad topic, and I hope I've tried to kind of break it down to a certain level, a certain extent in different ways. Now, speaking to the question initially, which I know Dorothy sent me, that the influencer culture and its impact on Nigerian youth, is it more harm than good? I can't even give you a concrete answer whether or not it's more harm than good, because at the end of the day, it depends on the individual, who is actually feeding off this particular, whatever it is, whatever the product it is, and how they also respond to it as well. So more harm than good, we get it in all the different societies, and sometimes obviously you see a shift tilt to more harm, and then there are laws that are brought into place, and then you shift it, it becomes it kind of balances itself out. So thank you very much for having me. I do.
Thank you. It was a very fun one. Please, we do appreciate it. But yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks for all of your opinion. I'm sure
we've got to do
definitely
more episodes on this, because there's still a whole lot more to discuss. I was going to go into like the role of parents, because Ifeko said something that about people, just the end consumers, at the end of the day, having a stronger, sense of independence to actually know what's good for them or not. So I was going to go into like what would be the role of a modern day parent to prevent their children for just falling to anything that is pushed out to them, so but maybe on another episode we would cover that up. So thank you very much. This was a very interesting episode with our celebrity Ifeko. All right, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for listening. I will see you in our next episode. Have a wonderful day.